Everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I'm not someone who really wants to get involved in the discourse surrounding video games necessarily, but I figured it would be good to talk about this as it's kind of timely, and in the future, if anybody asks like my feelings on these kind of things, I can just refer back to this video. So, let's jump into it and talk about video game discourse. Talking about video games on YouTube sucks. Really, talking about video games anywhere online sucks. I'm sure you've noticed over the last decade that the conversations surrounding games have gone from a focus on analyzing the gameplay mechanics and story to finding the most clickable narrative surrounding a game and using that to drive traffic towards your website or YouTube channel. But why do people do this? Why does it seem like there's a concentrated effort to tear down each and every new title, to cause controversy where there really isn't any? The answer to that question is, of course, money. I'll state what I believe is the biggest issue surrounding video games today. The reason that games don't hit like they used to is video games have become such a large industry that now more established, moneyed interest couldn't ignore it. As small studios who worked on passion projects that gained success and notoriety grew, it caught the eye of the more established companies and invited investment. Whenever studios brought under the umbrella of a larger corporate entity, usually via an expensive acquisition, expectations of returns on their investment become a necessity. This brings people who are good at making money in one industry into positions of power over those people who are more passionate about just making games. Even if they can coexist for a while, eventually, the need to increase profits quarter after quarter will drive a wedge between the two parties. This is why we have seen a steady increase in somewhat outlandish microtransactions, from horse armor back in the day to paying to level up faster in single-player games these days. Companies are always looking at new and innovative ways and somewhat predatory ways to make money at the expense of the finished product. There's less of a financial penalty for a studio failing for a major corporation. So their newest games didn't quite meet expectation. That's all right. Just fire everybody who worked there, write it off as a loss. Maybe you can sell the IP off for a bit of money in the future. It sucks that all those people lost their dream jobs, but you're on to the next thing to ruin, like healthcare. That seems ripe for the picking. This is why so many industry veterans have left video games behind. Heck, Shuhei Yoshida speculated in an interview with Kinda Funny that he was removed from working on first-party games because he was against live service games, saying, quote, "I hope that this strategy will work in the end. If I was in the Herman's position, probably I would have tried to resist that direction. Maybe that's one of the reasons they removed me from the first party," close quote. Former Sony Interactive Entertainment of America president Sean Layden said in an interview with Destin Legary that he left due to the focus on live service games as well, saying, quote, "To be honest, the company was making some strategic decisions about where they want to take the platform in the future, with a heavy emphasis in games as a service, live service gaming, subscription formulas, recurring revenue, and whatnot. And that was kind of not my wheelhouse. I just make things like God of War and Spider-Man and The Last of Us and Uncharted, Horizon. I didn't have the vision or the energy to try to, take it to this new area of live service gaming. So all that considered, it seemed like a good time to step down after 32 years at Sony," close quote. As I'm sure you know, the live service push from Sony has really been hit and miss, and miss, and miss. But getting back to what makes gaming conversations so unbelievably annoying online, it's of course like almost every annoying conversation online, due to anti-woke bros. Planting my flag that people who make it their mission in life to tear down the art of others in the name of traditional values, whatever they're claiming are those traditional values, tend to poison conversations surrounding art and ruin it for everyone who wants to have a serious conversation. Every game that comes out needs to have this controversy attached to it. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is going to fail because there's a gay romance option. Oh, it was a huge success? Well, I'm never going to mention it again then. Monster Hunter Wilds is based because that's why it's selling so much. I'm going to ignore the 10 videos I made complaining about the ability to put mustaches on any character model. Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to fail. I don't care that the game has 3 million players in a week. I decided that it was going to fail months ago so that I could make dozens of videos riling up my fan base and raking in millions of views, and of course thousands of dollars. If I keep claiming I was right, I never have to admit that I was wrong. Because being wrong is woke. Or something, I don't know. Okay, I don't know about that last part, but the rest of the paragraph is basically what I've been seeing online. Is Assassin's Creed Shadows a perfect game? Obviously not, but how can we engage in a meaningful conversation about what works and what doesn't when some people are more interested in the clicks that come along with being anti-woke? We even have the President of the United States, Elon Musk, getting involved in Twitter discourse surrounding Ubisoft sponsoring Hassan Piker's Twitch stream of Assassin's Creed Shadows, then promptly being ratioed to hell by the Assassin's Creed Twitter account, who called him out for having someone else level up his Path of Exile 2 account. Which is, very funny, but Ubisoft should know Elon's too busy to level up his own account. There's medical research to defund and companies he already owns to sell to himself. He also has to get into public spats with the mothers of his many children on Twitter. The man can really do it all. And by it all, I mean be the worst. But I do think the tide is shifting. People aren't as interested in what these constantly negative YouTubers have to say because they realize that they're at best misinformed and at worst purposely dishonest. They don't bring value to anything except their own Google AdSense account. And honestly, I get it. Making it on YouTube is hard. Look no further than this channel. Sometimes it's tempting to take the path that seems the easiest. Whatever it takes to get views and subs. But what's the point? Why create if your creation's only meant to destroy? There's tons of interesting topics to discuss when it comes to video games, and yeah, the views might be lower, but if you're hardworking and dedicated, and most of all, honest, I believe they'll come in time. So, what do you think of all this? Are you as tired of the constantly divisive discourse surrounding gaming as I am? Perhaps you disagree. Let me know about that in the comments. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe. We have videos like this coming out every single week, though not as much engaging in the discourse surrounding games, more talking about specific things within games, kind of gaming op-eds. We also have our Those Fake Nerds account, which is video game and pop culture news, and our sports account, Wicked Good Sports, and our podcast account, Better Radio. Please check those all out, and we will see you in the next one.